Oh, come on, that's bull!
Got smoked. All this
I hate this game.
On Gamer Chat. So, Gamer Chat, one of our 4 main segments of Epic Handshake Presents. Today we're going to be talking about some, new things coming in the gamer world. I'll let Scott here take that away, but we have one big topic that we're going to get to that I'm dreading coming around the corner. We'll get to that again, all in Gamer Chat. Scott, take it away.
So, one of the big stories lately in the gaming world is the new system that's coming out next year. This is a project that's just been started. I guess they've been working on it for a little bit, but they went on Kickstarter, which is a website that if you have an idea and people think it's a good idea, they can kind of back you up and give you some money. So this gaming system, it's called Ouya.
Ouya. That's just fun to say.
It is, right?
Want to play some Ouya?
So it went on to this Kickstarter with a goal of, I think, like $900,000, and that's what they thought they needed to get their system up and running. They've made about $8 million off people. So this is going to be huge, and I think people are in it for the long haul with this. It's a great idea. It's basically bringing something like the Google Play Store, the Xbox Live Marketplace, bringing that to its own system, and making it all free to play.
Free to play. Price is right on that.
And the other big thing about it is it's all open source. Anyone can be a developer. Anyone wants to make a game. I mean, obviously, I'm sure there'll be some reviewing of it, of a game if you make it. But it just seems like a great idea to me. I think the idea of open source is really attractive nowadays to everyone, and I think this is taking that to a place it needs to be, which is on your TV, because I think their whole philosophy is kind of gaming to these people is on your TV with a controller, with a couple friends at your house.
Sure.
And I mean, I agree completely.
That's some of the best gaming. A bunch of friends sitting around drinking beers or sodas if you're underage.
Everything's been getting smaller,
Right.
going to these handheld devices, and I think they're trying to bring it back to the TV, the big screen. Why not? I mean, you have that big screen. Why not use every inch of it?
That's a very good point. Just what's your take on the customer being able to customize, to develop?
I mean, I love that
their own
stuff. I
things.
mean, I love just engineering things, reverse engineering things, creating new things. What do you mean?
Do you think that'll? I guess what I'm trying to say is, do you think it'll hurt the system? Because if someone's not a full programmer and stuff, they're not. I don't want to, have this system and not really use it to its full potential. Do you think that could? Do you think that could hurt the? Ouya?
I mean, if those are the only people that create games, then
I
of
guess.
course it could. But I think they're doing all they can to get some really big developers to do some stuff for them.
Okay.
And I think they've actually released some of the games that are going to be.
Have
launch.
any big games been announced?
I guess I saw today that Final Fantasy III, they're doing a remake of it.
Wow.
I guess it's
I loved Final Fantasy III.
So they're doing a remake of it, and it's going to launch with the system. And I guess it's going to be updated, graphics, everything. And so Square Enix is actually going to do it.
Oh, and they make pretty solid games.
And there's another game called Human Element that's coming out for... I don't even know what system it's coming out for, but they're making a prequel to that game that's going to launch with this system also.
So it's going to be like little cross-platforming things?
Yeah. Well, no, the game's not going to be cross-platform. They're just making a prequel for this system.
Okay, all right, I understand that.
But it's it's a full-on game, and it's going to be.
How much does the system cost?
It seems like right now it's $99 for the system.
That's 2 prices right for the Ouya. I mean, you look at PlayStations and Xboxes; they're still close to $300
Right.
before you get the hard drive, before you get an HDMI cable, whatever it is. So if it's $100 to plug in and play,
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome.
And I think people are getting to the point now where technology isn't that intimidating to a lot of people.
Right.
So a lot of people are starting their own little gaming companies and making their own games, and I think this is a great way to kind of get it away from this little handheld thing. I hate using that. I hate playing games on my little
on your phone and stuff.
I can't do it.
It's such a good way to pass time, though.
Yeah, all I do are play word games. It's like
that's true.
That's the only thing that I think is like I can't sit down and play a whole little RPG or action game on my handheld. I need my TV. That's
right. Yeah, that's
you have the surround sound. Why
Because I want to play it on my phone. Dumb.
I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about the idea?
I think it's a very cool concept. I think you're absolutely right with let's go back to big screens. You're gonna have great graphics and great stories. Let me see it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit here and hang out with a buddy and we're gonna play this game. We're not gonna be look at that, look what I did. So I definitely think that is the smart move. I definitely like the downloadable content and things like all the games. You don't have to buy discs and things like that. All the games go right for everything. Yeah, go right to the Ouya. So it'll be $20 for an RPG instead of $60. Whatever that may be. I think that is absolutely right.
Now they say everything's going to be free to play, but I assume that means that there's going to be like a lot of demos. Like you'll be able to play demos free, and then to buy more content. I'm assuming that's how.
Yeah, kind of like a light version.
Or there'll be like most MMOs are going now, where it's free to play, but if you want this extra content, then you pay.
Do you think that runs the risk of if I'm playing a game, all of a sudden an advertisement's going to pop up on the bottom of the screen?
Yeah, there's definitely a risk.
The people need to make money.
Right.
I can't get over the name Ouya. Because somebody was totally like, we're going to make this. And it was like, Ouya, let's do that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it seems pretty awesome to me. I heard about it a couple weeks ago, and I looked it up, and it just seemed like a great idea. I didn't help them out with any money yet. But I'll definitely be looking for it next year when it launches.
So it'll be something that we'll keep an eye on, and we'll definitely post news about it in later shows, and maybe one day we will own an Ouya.
Oh, absolutely.
For ourselves. One last thing though, do you think with this open network and customizing and indie gaming and stuff, you think that runs a risk of people hacking into other Ouyas? I'm going to use the name as many times as possible.
I definitely do. That's the one thing that I'm worried about, because they're making it completely customizable, which makes you assume that they'll have those security measures in place.
Okay.
But I mean, like, the system is customizable. I mean, they say you can open this thing up, change any hardware inside, and it doesn't void your warranty.
Well, that's awesome.
You can... I think the one thing they did say is if you make modifications to any software, you're not going to be allowed to go on the store and get to games, which is probably their security measure to stop people from hacking into games. But I kind of feel like people will figure it out.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Again, we will keep you posted on the Ouya.
Yeah, there's got a long way to go. So, and the other big game coming out this month, for all platforms, is Madden 13, Dan's favorite game of all time. That's last year's.
I know, but still, it was here.
We don't get advanced copies
yet.
But actually, I've been doing some research on Madden 13.
Of course.
And I'm actually kind of excited for it.
Of course. That's what Madden does.
Yeah, they really do every year, like, hype you up, like, oh, he made all these great changes, and then...
You spend $60 on it, and after one game, wow, this is last year's version with an updated roster.
Well, I don't know, because I feel like they do make the changes, but the changes become, like, overpowering, and then other parts of the game start to lack.
Okay.
But anyway, so let's go over some of the things they said are going to change this year. So I just wrote down some of the things here. They said, well, first of all, something that's actually really exciting, no matter how it turns out.
Look at the enthusiasm.
Is the new commentary.
That's unbelievable. So many times him and I have had Madden marathons, and he's like, this game,
I'm sure I will be.
Throwing his controller, and I agree.
I got kind of pumped up from,
God,
from researching it today. So one of the big things that's changing, which is going to be welcomed by everyone, I'm sure, is the new commentary.
Absolutely. Because nobody... I mean, probably there's somebody out there, but nobody likes Chris Collinsworth in Madden and the ridiculous things he says.
One of the famous phrases? I can't remember now.
It'll come to me.
All right, so the new commentators are Jim Nantz and Phil Simms, which I may be skewed because Phil Simms was one of my favorite players of all time, but I love listening to Phil Simms.
They're good. They're a solid team.
And Jim Nantz is just a staple.
Is classic.
Yeah.
He's definitely up there with like Pat Summerall as one of those classic voices.
Right.
Chris Collinsworth was the holes one. He's like the defense had to plug all the holes, and that time there were no holes.
The running back was looking for holes, and that time
something
there
like
were
that.
no holes.
And he said it probably once every 3 running plays, and it was terrible.
I mean, they always say like, 2,000 new commentary things,
yeah.
but then it always ends up being repetitive. But maybe that's because we end up playing a lot,
we do play a lot. So I guess I'm definitely looking forward to new commentators.
Yeah.
The audio is super important in a game like this.
Right.
So you watch football every Sunday and Monday night. So I want that experience in my Madden to be just like what I'm watching.
For the controls, there's a couple of big changes, which actually could help.
What?
Because last year, what was our biggest issue with the game? The defensive D-backs being just dumb. They're just dumb. They had no intelligence.
You'd call the right play. He would be standing right next to the receiver and, wow, catch the ball, run for touchdown.
So they did update the passing controls, which makes it harder on the D-backs.
Right.
So basically you can kind of lead your receiver whichever way you want.
Okay.
And do like outside shoulder throws. Cool stuff like that, which I think they kind of had it in the other ones, but I think they like really revamped it this year. So they say. But then on the other side of the ball, something that you'll like, these are 2 things you're really going to enjoy. The defensive lineup. They now have the best defenders lining up on the best offensive players. So your best cornerback is always going to be on the best receiver. You're not going to be able to make your top receiver 3rd slot so that he lines up on the linebackers anymore. If he's 3rd slot, best cornerback's still going to be on.
That's awesome because you get a lot of players when you play online that even if someone's injured, their stats are still super high that they'll put them back in a game or they'll move a number 1 receiver, like you said, to the number 3 slot because they have better routes and things like that.
And if you're playing man and their fastest receiver is in the 3rd spot, they're probably going to be lined up against a safety or a linebacker, which is not nearly as fast as a D-back.
Really? That's awesome.
Right, so that was pretty exciting.
You see what's happening? I'm getting excited.
The other defensive upgrade that I read about was that you disguise your coverage now. Okay. So in previous years, you could, on the offensive side, send a guy in motion. If you're playing man, your D-back's going to follow him all the way across the field. That offensive player knows you're in man coverage, knows the right route to throw.
Right.
This year, it's going to be kind of like all the defenses are starting to go in the NFL, where it's this amoeba kind of thing.
Sure.
And they're just kind of floating around.
Where they roll to the coverage and stuff like that.
And you don't really know if it's man or zone until you snap the ball. So that's going to be huge for pre-snap stuff.
Okay.
And I think it's going to really help the defenses. So those are 2 pretty huge upgrades.
I definitely think the defensive side of Madden needed a boost.
Yeah.
Things like an average running back could run over 4 people and then spin past 2 and run for 75.
I'm sure there's still
that will still be in the game because it's a video game. But certain guys, if 3 defensive players hit him, he shouldn't fall forward.
Yeah.
Type
That's
thing.
true.
It's
I did read something else that I think they kind of said this in years past, but it's going to be like multiple tackles can happen Like one person can be holding the legs, and then you'll knock them back with the other guy, or you can go for the ball with the other guy.
Which again, that's animation. I feel,
I think it's gameplay too, because you have to have these guys react when there's multiple.
Yeah, I guess so.
So
you're right.
But the last really exciting,
This better be good.
New upgrade to Madden 13 is that T-bowing is going to be allowed.
Really? Really? T-bowing? That's your selling point? That's the final thing in my hatred of Madden? So help me God, if we're playing and you ever T-bow, like you can T-bow in-game.
I will T-bow every time I score.
Oh, come on.
I am the offensive coordinator. When we play online, I'll be the offensive coordinator. Dan will be the defense coordinator, so we'll just switch the control. That's our way of getting, that's kind of... We like playing like that. We've kind of been doing it the last couple of years, and we just kind of adapted that.
It's funny because you root for the other person.
Right.
It's like you try and, like, if for some reason, like, he throws an interception, I'll try and pick him up on defense. Or if I let up a touchdown, he knows he's got to go down and drive.
It's kind of like you have your thing to do. And it's like, it's kind of, it's fun.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. And we're screaming and running around and stuff like that. So it's definitely a good way to play. I just don't think they change enough things each year, and that's that's a tall order. That's tough to do. I don't think they change enough in each year for it to be a $60 purchase every summer.
Well, it's and with this whole online pass thing now, you can't really. I mean, they do give you like a 7-day trial, so you can try it. But it's still, even if you buy it used, I mean, the used is going to be. It probably ends up being more expensive for the first, 6 months. Because the game's even used, and 6 months in, it's still going to be like $45, $50. And then, you still have to pay $15 on top of that to get the online pass. But
good God.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe they do hype it up a little too much and say they changed all these things. And, I don't know, you seem to think that they don't ever really change. But I seem to think they make the changes overbearing and change it too much.
I just think that there's always going to be those 5 gimmick plays that everyone will learn that you can't ever stop. I mean, we have some of our own on offense and defense.
Deep cross.
Yeah, the slot cross.
Slot cross. I love that play.
They just don't cover it. But I think what I would really, really hope for in Madden world is to be less arcadey and more almost like strategy. Football is a strategy game. You got to have the right players in the right places doing the right things, and that makes your defense good. Right. You've got stud athletes out there, who are super fast and can hit really hard, but they got to be in the right area.
Yeah,
they got to be doing the right thing.
And that's how we play.
Right.
But then you'll get those people that, like you said, have the gimmick.
Right.
Screen every play, Michael Vick run around, and
that's gonna be Cam Newton this year.
And don't get me wrong, those guys do run around and stuff, but not the way that people play with.
But and not the way that a defense is retarded to it. It's like third and 25, and your defensive linemen bite on the play action fake. No. That doesn't happen in real football. You have the entire stadium screaming, it's going to be a pass, type thing. And just you watch things on the Madden, the Madden challenge and stuff where the punk kids, they're like, oh, well, I don't know.
Gimmicks.
I don't know what to do. I'm just going to throw the ball as far as I can, and this receiver's going to make a miraculous catch over 2 defenders. And, oh yeah, that's good gameplay. No, I want it to be real football.
Maybe they should have... Because, I mean, I do understand that people want to play that arcadey way too, though. But maybe they should have, more explicit, if you play arcade, if you kind of to set up play styles to play against each other. Because we'll get a good game, once every 3 games or so. And you'll get a really good opponent that kind of plays like your style, and you kind of like playing against them.
Yeah, and you go out there we got to stop the run, because this guy's running all over us with ISOs or whatever it may be. But
and then you can strategize.
I like games like that so much better than
It's just
my ridiculous computer player is going to just be a computer player and make you look silly.
Dan's getting upset, but he'll buy the game.
Of course I'm going to buy. I think I have it reserved already.
Actually, you know what? If they really made all the changes that they say they did, you know, I think it would be a solid pickup as a game.
So what do you think would help boost your purchasing value? Like, what do you think you should do in the game to get the most out of Madden?
Usually how I play my Madden is online most of the time.
Right.
And then what I'll do is I'll play on my own as just like the the league setting.
Yeah.
And make my own team. But I'll do a fantasy draft.
Right.
And that's what I like to do. I like to just get all my favorite players on my team.
Of course.
And then I love to create a team. I'll always create the Caribbean Sharks. That's my
If you ever
team.
see the Caribbean Sharks, it's this guy.
So I'll do that. And then I always liked their Be a Pro things. I don't remember it in Madden 12 though, for some reason.
Be a pro.
It's you play as one player.
Oh,
Actually, I do remember it in 12 now.
Yeah, they had that.
You just, and I like being like a running back, and I like doing that. You just kind of fast forward through all the plays, and you play your play.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
You kind of like get points and then build up your character.
I really like the what was it, create a team or custom team, where you got the packs of cards.
Oh yeah,
And you know you'd get a pack of cards, and those were the players you could put on, and you had them for X amount of games, and you could make a contract.
Oh,
like
yeah.
they had to get a card to boost. You know,
that's getting huge in all these.
yeah,
EA games.
that's in the soccer games. That's in baseball.
Yep.
You know, MLB The Show, which it wasn't very good for in the show, but Madden had it right.
Yeah.
So you know that's something that
That's something we got into last year.
we started touching on last year
because that's another online aspect of it.
And I think that's really fun, like because it gives you that arcade crazy sense
Yeah.
of playing. So that's good if that was in there. But if you're playing just, you know, the Cowboys versus the Giants, whatever it may be, you know, let's make it a real game.
I just think it would be hard for the developers. You'd almost have to make two separate games. But I think if they kind of set up a way that like players can get together.
Okay.
But players that don't know each other, because obviously, like if we played online, we'd be
Right.
fine. But we don't know a lot of people that play Madden on you know, Xbox or whatever we get it for.
Probably going to be Xbox.
Yeah, usually is. But if there was a way to really, I mean, maybe it's just surfing
I guess.
the lobbies and asking for people. But we're not usually into that. Like,
Well, the only time we'll do that is if we see someone who's like 300-0.
oh
Like,
yeah, don't wanna play.
you're like, no, like we're not going to play you because
Right.
you obviously cheat on some level. Well, when it comes out, we're both going to get it.
We'll give you a review.
We're both going to play it. We'll have a nice long Madden marathon. I'll probably sell it back and
then buy it again.
and then buy it again. But we'll give you guys a full review on a future gaming chat.